right, turning to our big story, the White House feeling the heat really over its zero-tolerance immigration policy that is separating hundreds of children, little ones, young people, from their families at the Mexican border. During the press briefing just a short time ago, journalist Brian Kareem confronted Press Secretary Sarah Sanders about the policy.
Jill, don't you have any empathy?
Jill, go ahead.
Come on, Sarah, you're a parent. Don't you have any empathy for what these people are going through?
Jill.
They have less than
Brian,
you do.
guys,
Sarah, come on,
settle down.
Seriously.
I'm trying to be serious, but I'm not going to have you yell out of turn. Jill, please call.
It's a law, and they have, these people have nothing.
Hey, Brian, I know you want to get some more TV time, but that's not what this is about. If I want to recognize you, go ahead, Jill.
Honestly, answer the question. It's a serious question. These people have nothing. They come to the border with nothing, and you throw children in cages. You're a parent. You're a parent of young children. Don't you have any empathy for what they go through?
Jill, go ahead.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions also defending the policy today.
There's only one way to stop it, and that's for the people to stop smuggling their children or someone else's children. Stop crossing the border illegally with children. Apply to enter lawfully. Wait your turn. That's what we believe in America.
Dozens of rallies and protests are planned tonight and tomorrow in at least 24 states and D.C. Since announcing the policy last month, hundreds of children have been separated from their parents and housed in facilities overseen by the Department of Health and Human Services. Joining me now, Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez. He joins me now from Washington. Congressman, I'm really glad you could make time for me. You know, you hear the administration, they're having to kind of defend this policy that they're trying to enforce, simply saying they're defending the law and following the law, and that it's really just the Democrats that need to come to the table. That's what Sarah Sanders actually said today. What's your response to that, sir?
First of all, they are changing the process in which accompanied minors become unaccompanied minors. Look, I've been here 26 years. I've seen a lot of wrongful things that government can do, but I can't think of anything more cruel or more evil than to snatch a child from a parent, from a mother. They are coming fleeing. So I want to establish one thing first. It is legal to come to the United States of America and to apply for asylum if you are a subject of cruelty, of murder, of rape. If your government can't protect you. I was with Senator Blumenthal from Connecticut earlier today, and he spoke so eloquently, Mihaela. He said his dad came here in 1935 from fascist Germany, right? If we had the policy of Donald Trump and he had been returned to Germany when he came here fleeing, applying for asylum, he would have been dead. There would have been no Senator Blumenthal. It's the American tradition to open up our homes and our country to asylum seekers. And that's what they are. Stop calling them criminals. Stop saying they won't wait in line. They can't. Here's what the Attorney General of the United States says. Mihaela, seriously, he says it's a private matter when a husband abuses his wife, when he threatens her, when he abuses her, when he rapes her, when he, in cases, murders her, that these are private matters. No, you don't call your attorney and say, hey, by the way, my husband. No, there isn't a state's attorney's office that doesn't have a vigorous defense of women and a domestic abuse. It's not a private matter. For good Americans, women and men, it's a matter that we care about how women are treated. And to separate them from their children, lastly, I want to make sure, this is child abuse. It's child abuse. Think about it one moment. They separate me from my daughter, separate me from my grandson. I can hear them on the other side of the wall. I can hear them screaming out, Grandpa, Papi, I want you. Where are you? I can hear them screaming to me. I scream back to them, you are scarring these children for life, and it's wrong.
You know, I feel pretty passionately about this topic, and it is difficult for me to hold my feelings in place, because to me this isn't a political matter. To me this is a humanitarian matter. But we turn to our lawmakers in times like this because it is about the law of the land, and as a representative of our law, I need to ask you, sir, what is being done in the halls behind you?
Yes.
What is being done? Because outrage only gets us so far. Outrage is important, right?
Yes.
We need to be heard. But what is going to get done?
Two things. First of all, let's remember that the Attorney General of the United States, within the context of the law, can change. And here's what he said. He said, if you're coming seeking asylum because you're attacked by ruthless, vicious gang members, he's instructed all of the judges to say that's not a case for asylum. If you're a subject of rape, right, and abuse, that's not a subject. So that's the one thing. So they are changing the way we're doing our. Secondly, Congressman Nadler, I, and others, we have a proposal. We have a proposal. We're circulating a letter right now. We're going to get people, and we're going to propose it next week. And hopefully we're going to be able to propose it as an alternative to say this is just wrong. Families shouldn't be divided at the border. Mihaela, they're not even giving them their day in court. This is the Attorney General of the United States, who, by the way, voted against the Violence Against Women Act. And now says that this is a private matter. Look, well, it's not a private matter.
It is not a private matter. It's not lost on me, and I'm sure it's not lost on you. Canada, to our north, our neighbors to the north, currently going through their own truth and reconciliation, making up for the years where they took First Nations and Native American children from the arms of their parents in their homes and then sent them to residential schools. We are reliving that currently in our own country, and we've watched how those young people turned into older people if they were lucky to survive, if they were lucky to live and not have a lifetime of drug and alcohol abuse and mental illness. We are facing that very same crisis here in this country. I want to ask you one thing. I should focus back, because I'm on a soapbox, sir, because these are children, and we need to represent them better. Jeff Sessions is putting the blame on parents for putting their kids in this problem in the first place. I know you're no fan of his, but what would you want to say to him right now?
It's Father's Day this Sunday. It's Father's Day. If these were your children, if you were fleeing systematic violence, death for your children, rape for your little girl, because there are vicious, ruthless gangs and drug cartels that run these countries, and they're fleeing, what would you want the answer to be? They were your kids. Would you want them to be separated from you, Attorney General Sessions? Or would you want somebody to stand up and say, I'm going to protect your children, I'm going to protect your relationship with those children, I'm going to protect your right to be a dad that wants it? These children have come with their moms and dads over sometimes thousands of miles, and they hand themselves over to the Border Patrol agents and say, I want asylum. I'm a victim in my country of torture. I'm a victim in my country. Please help me. It's Father's Day. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate in America we don't have to be ashamed of, because I have to tell you something. This is child abuse. The psychological scarring forever on these children is something I don't want on my conscience, so I'm going to lift my voice. And I say, you know what? Trey Gowdy, he's a pretty Republican guy. He has given such immense, great speeches on the House floor. And when he was attorney, and he was a district attorney back in South Carolina, he had a special task force to protect women. So this isn't a private matter in South Carolina.
Not at all.
Not even my good friend Trey Gowdy, who's pretty Republican on a different space, right, ideological space than I am. You know, I've listened to him. He's brought me to tears with his speeches about he protecting women. We should protect women in South Carolina, in Chicago, in California, and we should protect them at our border. It's
well, let's
not
see
a
if
private matter.
Some arms can reach across the aisles and link together for the very least of us, with our children. Representative Luis Gutierrez, very passionate on this matter. Thank you so much for your time. And we're going to check back in. This is a story we're not letting get away from us.